like to absolutely echo Councillor Quacks's comments in regards to breath of fresh air, and as Deputy Chair of Tenders and Procurement, it has been a really good last few months with, as you rightly point out, Sarah, that proactive versus reactive field of vision for us and for the work that you're leading. I'd also make the comment that the validated 20 million savings is nothing to be sniffed at, and they're in plain writing for us. Sarah, I thought it'd be a good idea for, an opening comment is, maybe councils are aware, but we haven't had a pipeline to date. I still find that really fascinating, and our unsolicited proposals process is was non-existent. So there's a couple of real biggies here that you would expect we were doing and we weren't. So just notwithstanding that, two topics. One, which kind of relates, I guess, to Councillor Walker's comments. When you went out to local boards, because they've seen this presentation in the form that you took it to them, what were they drawing out as relevant for them? I think it's important for us to know, when they heard your presentation, what were the take-homes for them? And then a second question, but I'll come back to that after that, in regards to pace.
Yeah, so through the Chair, we focused on 3 areas with the local boards. So what was happening at a transactional level for procurement? It's my backup band. So the transactional level, and that's what I was calling the ridiculous. So, I don't know, shipping the one-size-fits-all procurement approach meant that you had to ship a bottle of gas over to Great Barrier when they ran out of gas or something. Don't quote me on that, but ridiculous stuff that was happening because it didn't fit into our processes. We just have empowered staff to remove the ridiculous and empowered our suppliers. Our suppliers were scared to challenge that, so they felt heartened to have that ridiculous approach taken away. And if you say it out loud and it sounds ridiculous, it is ridiculous, so they can talk to me about it and we do something about it. So that was the transactional stuff. At the tactical level, it was all around what are the barriers for entry. So what is the barrier for their local suppliers doing business with council? So that's specifically what the next workshop will be focusing on, and I've asked them to think about what some of those are and bring them to the workshop so we can look at creating solutions rather than just having a session around what our problems are. And the third area that we spoke about was at the strategic level. So what are the things that are really important to those local boards that we can start thinking about now and take a strategic approach to procuring them that could have not just a value for money outcome but multiple outcomes, whether that be socioeconomic and value for money. So at a high level, that's how the conversation was facilitated. I'm
sure they would have been incredibly interested.
Yep.
So just on supplier relationship management in the PACE trial,
yes,
and also added to that, progressing the idea of a pipeline, or knowing what that pipeline will be.
Yeah.
What are your challenges? Because rolling out the PACE stuff is, you've got an ambitious timeline.
Yeah.
And can you get that pipeline together from all groups readily, easily?
So through the Chair, we're asking the business to do something that they've never done before. So business units have their own planning processes, they do their work in their own, probably multiple different ways. And there's a few things that are happening across the enterprise that are bringing that together in a more coordinated, planned approach. The procurement forward view pipeline is just one sort of skinny part of all the work that they need to do. So it has been challenging, but I think it's just that initial, I'm asking you to do something that you haven't done before. So it's the perception that I'm adding to workload potentially, but I'm confident that we will get over it. We'll get over the hurdles. We have top level support for a lot of the things that we're doing, so ELT are really supportive, and we might need to escalate here and there to get some stuff done, but we will get there, and next year it will be much smoother as well.
And if escalation's required, would that ever come across a governance, or will it stay within management jurisdiction?
So through the Chair, I think you as tenders and procurement committee members will see when we haven't got it right. So now we have this pipeline, you see the projects that you will from next week when I bring it to you. You will see the projects that are supposed to be coming onto your radar, and if you get surprise ones, then you'll know that something's not working. So if it's working, you shouldn't know about it. If it's not working, you'll see it anyway.
I would also, just adding to that, I would see that the process of escalating us not doing business properly is just an operational issue that we need to deal with. And we've got many examples where I think the will is absolutely there. Sometimes you just need to apply the pressure to get the right result. So to me, that's very much business as usual. But I think if we've got something wrong, you will see it. You'll hear the market, you'll hear your constituents, or you'll see it at tenders and procurement. And so we're looking to address that, but I don't see it as a governance issue per se, to be honest.
Thank you. We're doing very well in this committee. We've had a fire alarm and now we have a tsunami alert. So, and we might even finish before lunch.
Councillor Cooper. Thank you. I'm sure Councillor Walker's very happy. Lots of pictures, small words. Very good. Just a couple of things. One is, and I guess it's more for you, Dean, because this is fantastic work and good to hear, because we know that right from amalgamation, this is one of the small business community's biggest fears, that they would never get a chance to have any contracts, and it sort of transpired, and we were taking morning teas from here way out to Orewa, pretty crazy. So it's good to see that we'll get some local delivery by local people. But I think, and also I guess we had a perception, and I think that's why people were scared. It looked like you were dealing with an elephant crossed with a dinosaur. That's who you had to deal with, and I think that's going to be a lot better with a bit more of maybe a commercial kind of bringing that experience to it. But one of the things I want to say at the other end of it, Dean, is I just had a complaint from a very irate friend of mine who organised a big breakfast over at North Harbour Stadium. Well, you've got to pay in advance, and you've got to do this, and you've got to do that. And here we are paying late. We pay our suppliers late, but we're expecting our users to be paying in advance. So I think there's some real work to be done in kind of bringing that to the middle and being fair and reasonable with people and trusting our customers as well. And the other thing is just, this is great work, Accelerating Auckland, etc. There's lots of great places in West Auckland that would love to get free furniture as well. So I know we've got a great need with our cousins in the south. But even if we just look at the red heat map on our regional deprivation index, you'll see red spots further north. And so if it, I know it's a trial, but it'd be great to spread that a little bit if we could.
So through the chair, that's when we talk about the strategic opportunities at a local level, that's where I want to get to with the local boards, to understand what those opportunities are, because I think there's probably a bit of navel gazing going on, thinking that we know all the answers, and we don't. We need to get out there and engage and figure out what they are.
And great work to see this happening. Will be good. We'll be able to defend ourselves a bit better now when we get attacked about the stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Casey.
Well, I just wanted you to decode one line which says, working with our CCO counterparts to deliver value to the Auckland Council Group through both category streams and joint spend data.
Yes, did my notes print out on that presentation? Sorry, I don't think they were meant for the audience. So working with my CCO counterparts, I meet monthly with my peers from water care, transport. We provide procurement shared services to the other CCOs. And our default operating model when we're looking at categories, so that's a category will be facilities management or electricity. It's what the market has the capability to deliver to you as a category. The default approach is to say, how can this be delivered better across the group, rather than all three of us running out and doing a tender for electricity at the same time.
Thank you. Mr Mayor.
Okay.
I just had another... thank you for the answer. So that's decoded that sentence. Mm-hmm. You go.
Oh. Very quick question. So we've got major contracts, Crown, Council. Whose procurement strategy and policy prevails?
That was it. That was the next one.
There you go.
That was the next one. Yeah. But I was trying to get the words out.
So it depends obviously Auckland Transport must use the sourcing approach dictated by NBIE for NZTA funded works. They call it a procurement strategy. That's not a procurement strategy, that's their procurement process. So an open tender over $350,000 on gets, that's a procurement process. That's not a strategy. That's not saying that they're going to strategically and positively impact any of their outcomes. I'm currently influencing across the group to look at some of the more strategic opportunities, but from a process perspective, it depends where the money's coming from, whether it's NZTA or us.
Yeah.
Need to be a part of that discussion going forward on transport.
Yeah. Councillor Darby.
Thanks, Dean and Sarah. Since we adopted the strategy, what sort of feedback are you getting from the creative industries, architecture, landscape architecture, who have criticised our procurement in the past? Are they filling out less forms, and what's their response?
So through the chair, the creative industry have probably had real reasons to complain in the past. You know, if you look at IT, sometimes it's faster, cheaper, better to stand up an instance of the product that you're wanting to buy than it is to write a 50-page RFP response document, right? But the processes didn't allow for that. So at the moment, because we haven't gone live with the new processes, they'll be from 1 October, we have engaged not just our internal customers but some of our suppliers in the co-design process of the new processes. So from the design industry, from architectural industry, from some of the construction industry, and they've been very happy to be part of that process, so they can see the benefit of a new contemporary approach.
Okay, good, thanks.
We're probably not capturing everyone in that engagement, but hopefully that engagement will be reflected in
The Institute of
process.
Architects have been quite critical, and they're in the mix.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
Thank you. Well, it's been moved and seconded. If there's no other discussion, I will put the motion. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Thank you very much, councillors. As I say, we started with still managed to get through reasonably quickly. We started with a fire thing and we finished with the tsunami.
Well done, Kenny.
And we actually do have a briefing downstairs in the councillors' lounge over lunch.
Kenny. Oh, sorry, Kenny.
Oh, Marai protocol
Yeah.
for...
Run is here.
Yeah, I know, but we...